Welcome back to a brand new video, and in today's video, I will be reviewing Chucky Season 2, Episode 2. Let's go ahead and get right into this review. Let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments below. Let me know some of your theories as well. Let's go ahead and get right into this review. So basically, we are starting off with Devin, Lexi, and Jake all in this Christian like type of school. We get a character that Devin Sawa plays. He plays a different character in this. We get a new character, which I thought was pretty interesting, and I thought her character was really good. She's basically there, just for the ride. Like she's just happy to be there with Jake and Lexi and all of them. Like she's just happy to be there with them, and then just included in all this craziness. We get Nika in this, which was really interesting, and there's an interesting um, twist in this. Fast forward, if you consider this to be a spoiler, but I didn't see it coming. Maybe some did, but Nika and Chucky, they are actually working together, and I thought like I kind of got a chuckle at that because I did not see that coming. And this episode was very light, but not only was it light, it was funny. I think this episode was written very well. It was a very fun episode, and it basically determines the tone of the rest of this season. That's just gonna be really fun. Maybe we get a little darker towards around like episode 6 and 7, but for at least these next couple of episodes, it'll be very light in tone. I feel like this season's probably much more lighter in tone than the first one. That's perfectly fine. We get a lot of Tiffany in this, which I actually enjoyed. Um, Again, if you consider this a spoiler, fast forward. But at the end of the episode, we get Glenn and Glenda, which didn't see that coming. I did not expect them to introduce Glenn and Glenda so early, so I'm glad they did that because that means we're probably getting more surprises later on. So I did like that. The pacing and the flow of this episode was way better. If you remember in my I can't talk. Excuse me. If you remember in my review for episode 1, I said that was one of my complaints that it felt kind of just rushed a little bit, like they didn't have enough time. I felt like it should have been an hour long episode. This episode, I believe, was only 46 minutes, and that's usually typical. This episode being 46 minutes, it fits. The runtime and the pacing fits, and it's fine. So I don't got a problem with the pacing or anything this time around. It fits fine. A couple more things. I feel like we're not gonna get too much Chucky in this season. I don't know how I feel about that till I'm see more episodes than yeah I'm proven right. And what I mean by that is I kind of feel like I feel like that because in this episode is revealed that this Chucky that we are following, he's just a scout. He's just a scout. He's not the main Chucky. If he has to kill Jake, Dev, and Lexi, then he will. But he's mainly a scout, which I feel like okay, interesting. But they only have 8 episodes. I believe they're doing 8 episodes again here, so they kind of have to keep things tight here. So how are they really going to balance that? Like, okay, we're going to build our way up to having a lot of Chucky, but for right now, we're just going to slowly build. Like I said, slowly build that up. I'm fine with that. Shall see how that plays out. But I got a feeling we're not getting too much Chucky. But that does mean like when we do see Chucky on the scene, can't talk again. That does mean when we see Chucky in these scenes, they're going to be written pretty well and executed really well. I Is there like any complaints for this episode? Not really. The only part will be we've seen it in the trailer where like again I like the scene overall, but just the way just the way Chucky looked because you could tell it was a puppet and not a animatronic. I could be wrong. I feel like they did a mixture of that. But his arms looked real skinny, and was the scene where like Chucky was messing with a nun, and the nun had a heart attack. Heavy Child's Play 3 vibes, which I will get into here in a minute. But you could tell, yeah, that was a puppet. My only complaint. But yeah, like I was just speaking on this episode really feels like Child's Play 3. It really feels like Child's Play 3, and I love that. As you remember in Child's Play 3, Chucky was just having a blast. He was just having fun. And it's the same here. Like, Chucky gets a phone. He's taking selfies. He's just having fun in this new environment. And he's just, again, having a blast. And he loves it. Um, like I talked about earlier, we get a new character. We get Devin Sawa. He plays a new type of character. There was some funny moments. Again, in this episode, it was It was well written, and I may like this episode better than last week's episode. Um, a couple more things. I feel like we're. Oh yeah, I kind of got a feeling, and I don't know how I feel about this yet. Tiffany is probably going to die. And I don't know how I feel about that. I say that because this episode kind of determines what Tiffany's fate most likely will be. I say most likely. So if Tiffany dies, how would you feel about that? I'm kind of mixed on that. Like I'm very mixed on that. But I feel like that's going to be her fate. And I don't think it might not even be the finale. It might just be like something they might introduce like very early on, to shock everybody. I also feel like Lexi is going to get killed. I feel like the writing's kind of on the wall for her too at this point. And the new character that we're going to get, she's going to be more of a focus, like how kind of Lexi was. So yeah, overall, episode 2, really enjoyed it. It was a blast. It was fun. There really was no kills in this episode. And if you want to count the nun, which Chucky technically didn't kill her, it was just a heart attack. She was just scared. So you want to count that as a kill, it's fine. But I kind of feel like that too, not having as much Chucky means it's going to be very tame. See, it's going to be very tame type of season. I'm kind of mixed on that part. But overall, heavy Child's Play 3 vibes. Had fun with it. We had Glenn and Glenda in this episode. We had a lot of Tiffany. We had some Nika. It was just a fun episode that I really enjoyed. And I can't wait to see episode 3 and 4 because I feel like those episodes are going to be wild. I feel like this whole season is just going to be wild and it's going to be very mixed, especially the next episode because what they, like I said, with Glenn and Glenda. But I'm excited nonetheless. One thing I did find funny is they're investigating. They're finally investigating what happened to Nika Pierce. What happened to her? Now they're finally going to investigate that. I kind of find that funny. Like, why didn't they investigate that case way sooner? Why they're doing it now? But yeah, let me know your thoughts on episode 2 in the comments below. Make sure you hit the like button. Please subscribe. And let me know some of your theories. So far, my 2 theories is going to be Lexi's getting killed and maybe Tiffany will get killed. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.